You do not want to make a mistake when booking your wedding photographer, because the photographer you choose will determine how your wedding gallery will turn out. And it's not just about, pretty pictures, it's about how they see it, because that will directly translate into your wedding gallery. Hi, I'm Carolina, a wedding photographer in the UK and Europe who documents weddings with an editorial twist. Where do we even begin looking for wedding photographer? Look, there are many avenues you can explore to find your perfect wedding photographer. You can look at Instagram, you can look on TikTok, you can even find it on YouTube. Simple Google search will do, and even Pinterest. Even LinkedIn. Look, there are definitely many avenues, but there are a few that really stand out, and there are a few things that you really need to look out for. So another way to find your wedding photographer is through venue recommendations. When you finally choose your wedding venue, ask for their recommended suppliers list. It will usually have a good list of suppliers that you can choose from, and a little secret, some venues, their coordinators and planners have their own little recommended supplier lists that could be totally different from what the venue has to offer, but this is probably going to be the one where they worked with that person and that's why they like them and they recommend it moving forward. So just double check, maybe there was a photographer that you really liked when you went to somebody else's wedding. Have a think back. Was there something that really stood out to you? Maybe that is a good enough reason for you to reach out to that wedding photographer. And recommendations are usually the safest ones when choosing your photographer. Not that, finding it on Instagram is not good. It's always good, but there are a few more steps that you need to do to make sure that the photographer you choose via Instagram, Google search and stuff like that really hit all of the ticks for you. So now you looked at few wedding photographers. Maybe there's one on Instagram, maybe you found one on Google, maybe you liked someone from recommended suppliers list. How do you narrow it down even further to the one that feels the most right to you? First and foremost, you obviously reach out to all of the ones that you really liked and you check what is it that they offer, how do they communicate, do they respond very fast, do they take their time, or they ghost you straight away. So there are many different photographers out there and everyone has their own way of working. In my opinion, the sooner the photographer replies, the more reliable they are, because it feels like, they're going to be very responsive and quick on the feet to answer any of my questions that I have. And that, I think, in the wedding industry, that is very important to be very quick in responding to emails. Now that you narrow down to few photographers that you really like, you now have a very big task. You need to analyze everything from beginning to the end. And there are a few things you need to look out for. So one is their Instagram. Are they active on their Instagram? When was the last time they posted? Do they do any reels? Maybe they have some behind the scenes content. So then you can actually have a look and see how they work. And in my opinion, that's very important, especially in this day and age. Yes, there's a lot of content around, but seeing a potential wedding photographer that you might hire for your wedding and see how they work can really sway and make you feel at ease and calm. Maybe you really fall in love with them based on how they treat their clients. When looking at Instagram, one thing is very important to remember is that you shouldn't judge their whole portfolio based on what is on Instagram. So when you reach out to them, you must ask for any full wedding galleries that they can send you. So I tend to send about 3-4 wedding galleries, not to overwhelm too much. And I always try to tailor those galleries to make sure that I send the ones that are either from the same venue or are very similar to the venue if I've never shot at that venue before. And what I tend to show in those galleries is exactly as I deliver to my client. So none of the images are cut out. You can see exactly from beginning to the end how it all unfolded. How are the getting ready moments captured? Are there any duplicate shots? Are there any very close photographs that, could have been narrowed down? So then you don't have to. Another thing to look out for when you're looking at the full wedding galleries is the light and edit throughout the whole? Are the editing is consistent? Do they edit the full gallery from the beginning to the end? Or is it more like a selective editing? So all of these things will really help you narrow down to the one that you really want to hire. In the end, what matters the most is that you align yourself with the editing style, with the style how they photograph. And if you can position yourself in those galleries, if you see yourself within those galleries, if you see yourself in any of the photos where you look at a photo and you think, actually, I can totally see us in this photograph, that is it. That is the biggest green flag you can find. That means it is the right photographer for you. Are you connecting with your photographer? It's very important that you meet the person, even if it's through the Zoom call, you must connect with the person. I cannot imagine going to a wedding and not knowing the couple. Like, it happens, but it's one of those where maybe I've not met them in person, but we've been chatting through DMs on Instagram or WhatsApp, and in the end, I still feel connected to that person. It's very important, in my opinion, both sides to connect. Now, if you're hiring your wedding photographer and someone absolute stranger comes into your prep room, you are gonna feel a little bit uncomfortable. And that's why I think knowing who's gonna be there for you is very, very important. How are they communicating? How are they talking? Are they they're making you feel relaxed and at ease? Are they making you uncomfortable with the way they speak or the things they do? There's a lot of nuances when booking the right person. Let's go and break it down. You've jumped on a video call. You've had that initial chat. What do you look out for next? I think looking out for how quickly they respond is very important. Are they responsive on Instagram? Are they responsive on emails? Are they showing interest in you? Are you even interested in their interest in you? And the next one is meet them, whether, like I said, whether it's over a Zoom call or a phone call, ideally a video call, because I think it's important to kind of see the person and their reactions and how they talk to you, how they present themselves and stuff. I think it really helps. When you talk to them, let's take the same Zoom call, for example. When you're talking to them, are you feeling at ease? Are you feeling like they're gonna make you feel at ease on a wedding day? Are they coming across as knowledgeable and, have it together and they know what's happening? Or is it just, a front that they put on Instagram to make you think that they've got it together, but you're getting this gut feeling that they don't know what they're talking about? All of these little things, they come together in helping you narrow down even further and finding that perfect photographer. In the end, do they make you feel at ease and relaxed? So when you talk to them, look out for all of the signs that show that they are professional, that they're knowledgeable, that they know what they're talking about, that they're confident that they will make you feel at ease and relaxed in front of the camera. That you have a good idea of who you have to choose from, what next? You have spoken to many photographers, you have made these spreadsheets, you have tracked what they offer, how they communicate, how they make you feel, and all of that stuff. You kind of have all the answers in that spreadsheet. You kind of already have the answer in your gut feeling. And I have a pretty good feeling you know exactly who you're going to go for. In the end, the person you choose is going to be there for the whole day, and that's why I rave about to make sure that the one you choose is gonna be there like a friend, like a family member to you. So if you're planning your wedding, follow along. I share wedding content from behind the camera every month.